Hello, welcome back to my channel. This week I had to go on a work trip and I knew I was gonna have a lot of time to just read, and so I decided to bring you along with me. I had to take a work trip to the Tokyo area and I did pretty much nothing but read. So this is gonna be a reading vlog. I hope you enjoy. So this is where I'm going to be staying for the next week. I have a pretty big kitchen, a living room area, which is pretty nice, and I have a bedroom in there and a little bathroom. Hello. I just got to my hotel. I have been on a plane or a bus all day, but since today is day one of this reading vlog, I wanted to tell you about the audiobook that I was able to finish today. I started this audiobook about a week ago, and I finally finished it today, and I just finished The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Oh my god. I think this isn't just my favorite book of the month. This isn't my favorite book of the year. This is my favorite book of all time. Like, if you don't know what that book is about, it's kind of a story of a girl born in France in the late 1600s. At that time, women were expected to get married and have children, and that is just not what she wants. She wants to belong to no one. She wants to belong only to herself, and she wants to be able to live long enough to have big adventures in her life. She doesn't want to waste her life away doing nothing in her small village. And she was warned never to pray to the gods that answer after dark, but she did. She prayed on her wedding day. She was supposed to be marrying this older guy that she did not want to marry, and she runs away in her wedding dress into the woods and just prays to whoever will listen, and someone answers. And the deal is that she could live for as long as she wanted to live and belong to no one. And when she got sick of living, this darkness, this god, this devil kind of thing, could have her soul. And so she agrees. And she doesn't realize the consequences that come with that. Basically, the way that she will never belong to anyone is because no one remembers her. When she talks to someone and she meets someone for this first time, as soon as they look away, as soon as they go to sleep, everyone just forgets her. She can't write anything down. She can't have a picture taken of herself. It just comes out blurry. She just can't make a mark on the world in any kind of way. And it's incredibly sad, but her resilience and her strength throughout history, despite this darkness coming to her on almost every anniversary of their deal, trying to get her to give up her soul, and she just continues on. And even though she's lonely, I don't want to give anything else away after that. I think that's enough to decide if you're interested in that, and I think that you should just really enjoy the journey on your own, because it is amazing. The writing in this is like the most beautiful writing that I have ever read. It was also, I listened to the audiobook of this, of course, and Julia Whelan narrates it, and that is my favorite female narrator. I think she just really brings stories to life with her voice, and I'm sure that's probably why I loved it so much as well. But anyway, enough of my ranting. Please just read that book. Holy cow, it's amazing. Believe it or not, I'm actually not in a book slump. Usually when I read a book that good, I just can't move on. But luckily, I've also this week been reading a physical book, so I want to finish that up. I've been reading Mile High by Liz Tomforde. That is, if you're unfamiliar, a pro hockey player who ends up having a thing with his flight attendant for the team's private jet. I think I have like 120 pages left or something like that, so I probably will finish that tonight, and I will update you again then after I finished it and let you know my thoughts. Hello, it is Monday afternoon. I just got out of my class, and I'm just going to give you an update on the fact that I finished Mile High by Liz Tomforde. I think there's nothing bad about the book there. I don't have really any complaints or anything. I thought it was good. I just think it was a little bit too long. It's like nearing 500 pages, and I think for a contemporary romance, that's just too long. It took me a long time to finish it, which is kind of a good sign that it's not, you know, the most interesting, but overall it was really good. I really, really loved how a mid-sized girl was main female character. I loved that she was self-conscious about her body a little bit. Even though she had confidence, she was still self-conscious. And I definitely feel that way. Like, I've had 2 children, and I definitely do not feel the same way about my body that I did when I was 18, you know? So it's kind of nice to think about that. You know, every female main character is usually super beautiful and thin, and you know, it's nice to hear that. So I really loved that the main male character, Xander, was, you know, very respectful of her body and like her insecurities, and did everything in his power to make her feel comfortable and loved and sexy. I thought it had some really good representation in there. I don't know, it just really wasn't, I guess, what I was feeling at the moment. That could be because I read my favorite book in the world yesterday. I don't know, but I think that I'm actually going to try my hand at historical romance. So I would say the only historical romance that I've ever really read before was Outlander, which I didn't really realize that was historical romance. I mean, I guess I do. I just didn't realize that there's this whole world of historical romance out there. And like, the covers are so cringy. Like, I think that's something that's pushed me away from them for the longest time, because like, the book that I'm going to be reading is called The Lady Gets Lucky. Like, this is the cover, okay? Ew. Okay, I hate it so much. Like, I'm one of those people that really hate like suggestive covers. Like, I want them to be very discreet. I really just cringe. And it's not because of what other people are going to think. Like, I'm reading this on my Kindle. No one's ever going to see this cover, but I don't know, something about looking at it is just so cringy to me. But we'll see. I do really love history. Like, I always love those like historical fiction shows that I've seen on TV that have like a good romance plot. Like, you know, if you've ever watched that show Reign about Mary Queen of Scots, or Downton Abbey, and like shows like that, I freaking love history and I love watching those shows. So I think that I'm gonna really like this genre. And yeah, so this is gonna be my first one. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I'm going to start a new audiobook. I'm going to start Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I just read Part of Your World not too long ago and on audio, loved it. That was another Julia Whelan book. So yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite narrators. I don't know who narrates Yours Truly, but I have heard that the audiobook for that is good also. So I'm excited to start that as well. Hello, happy Tuesday. Just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the books that I'm reading. So I read about 105 pages or so of The Lady Gets Lucky. Remember this horribly cringy cover? Yeah, so do I. First historical romance that I ever really picked up. So far, it's fine. It's cute. It is about a woman who wants to get married, wants to find a husband, but like just does not know how to like seduce a man. Like, that's kind of what she wants to do. She wants to learn how to be seductive and provocative, because these are the women that tend to pick up the guys, and she does not know how to do that. She's super shy and just feels really awkward talking to a man. And so she goes to like the very known playboy guy, and she's like, hey, like, I need your help. I need you to help me learn how to seduce a guy. And he's just like, what? And he's like, no, I promised my friend that I would like stay away from all the virgins and all the innocent women. Like, I can't be doing that. And it just so happens that he is trying to start this big social supper club thing, and it's like kind of like a lofty goal from him, and he really needs like a good like set of recipes for this dinner club. And the girl happens to know this like really, really, really famous chef, and so she basically agrees to kind of help him get these recipes and perfect these recipes. And she would give him a new recipe every time he gives her a lesson on how to seduce a guy. He finds himself starting to get like a little bit jealous whenever she starts talking to other guys. You know, we know where this is going, okay? It's very, very clear where this is going. And so far, it's not anything special, but I mean, it's keeping me entertained. Like, I'm flying through it, so it's fun, it's cute, it's light, you know. I'm also listening to Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I didn't really mention this yesterday, but if you're not familiar, Abby Jimenez wrote Part of Your World, which is kind of the first book in this like world. So the first book followed Alexis, who was a doctor and had this like really like rich, fancy life, but ended up kind of falling for a guy in this town in the middle of nowhere who was very blue collar, very average Joe, but they fell in love. And amazing book. And then Yours Truly picks up like a little while later, where Alexis's friend, who is also a doctor at this hospital, who is still working here without Alexis, and she is just going through a really rough time in her life, job stuff, going through a divorce, one of her family members who is very, very sick. And then our main male character, which I can't remember his name, he had just taken this job at this hospital as a doctor as well, and he has like crippling anxiety. And I'm noticing that that's like a trend. I just got done reading Mile High, and that guy also had like panic attacks and anxiety. And I'm noticing that like the mental health representation among men is becoming really popular in romance books. And I really like that, actually. I really like that, you know, we're starting to see that in men, and like normalizing that men have mental health issues as well, because I feel like men are always supposed to be strong. Our two main characters have just met at this point. There's really nothing to their meeting. There's just a lot going on with them separately, and they really haven't had too much time to like get to know each other, and they're really not on the right foot right now. Like I feel like not much has happened quite yet. So I'll give you an update on that later. I'm gonna go out for dinner tonight into town. So if I go out, I will bring you with me, and I will probably be reading some more of The Lady Gets Lucky tonight, and yeah, I'll update you again tomorrow. It is so hot outside. Hi, happy Wednesday. Here's just an update on some of the stuff that I've been reading. So last night I was actually able to get pretty far into The Lady Gets Lucky, and I gotta say, I'm actually liking it. It's really cute. The tension there, like the forbiddenness. Yeah, I actually kind of like it a lot. Like I think I'm at like 84% at this point. So I'm gonna go finish that as soon as we're done talking here. But yeah, it's really cute. I definitely think I'm willing to give more historic romances a try. I mean, it's not the most amazing book that I've ever read in my life, but I am enjoying it. I've read a little bit more of Yours Truly through audio, and it's so cute already. Like, I don't know. I just really love this main male character. He's so like sweet and nice, and sometimes it's just a nice break from like the possessive, dark, like crazy guys that I'm used to reading. And so it's nice to just see somebody really wholesome, and like their letters back and forth to each other are just, they have no idea at this moment how much those letters mean to each other, and I'm just really liking it a lot. I think I'm about 2.5 hours into the audiobook, so I still have a ways to go before I finish it, so I'll let you know when I finish that. But I think after I finish The Lady Gets Lucky, I think I'm going to start Under Lock by Mariana Zapata. I have read one of her books before, which is All Roads Lead Here, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think it was too much of a slow burn, and I felt like there wasn't enough payoff. Whenever they finally got together, it just wasn't enough for me. It's just like, I waited for this, and that's kind of how I felt. And so I didn't love it, but I really want to give her another try. I've never read like a motorcycle romance book, but I'm very interested to start this, and I am not planning on getting out tonight. I'm just going to do some laundry and clean my room because it's a disaster right now, and just read. So I will update you again tomorrow. Hello, happy Thursday. Another update for you. So I ended up finishing The Lady Gets Lucky last night. Ended up liking it a lot more than I thought that I was going to like it. I read the first 100 pages and I'm like, I don't know. But it was actually really cute, and I really liked it a lot. And I think that I am definitely willing to read some more historical romances in the future. And as far as Yours Truly, I am loving this. It's starting to turn into like this fake dating thing that I always really like, and yeah, I'm just a fan so far. And then I started Underlock last night. I was really tired, so I did not get very far, but I don't really know much other than this girl, Iris, I think is her name. She's super broke, and I don't really know her story or her back history or anything like that, but I know she's super broke and just needs a job and is desperate and ends up working at this tattoo shop. And all I know is that I guess her dad and her brother are part of this like motorcycle club, or they were, or something like that. And maybe the tattoo guy, the guy that owns a tattoo shop, is in a motorcycle club. I'm not like super sure, but he is like real grumpy. Like he is just an absolute asshole right now and just being super mean. And yeah, I mean, I'm barely into it at all. Like I think I've read like, I don't know, 20 pages or something like that. Yeah, I am gonna go out tonight. I am really craving some boba, and so I'm gonna go get some of that tonight and walk around the town. So I'll bring you with me, and otherwise I will update you tomorrow. So I had every intention of going out and eating like a real meal and going out and kind of sightseeing, but I'm feeling really lazy and I just want to lay around and read. So I'm having a 7-Eleven dinner. Hello, editing me. It was really hot outside and I came and splashed water on my face and had no idea that there was mascara underneath my eye. So I'm sorry. Can we please just pretend that's not there? Thanks. If you have never been to Japan, 7-Eleven is completely different than it is in the United States. 7-Elevens are amazing. Like you can really eat there every day, and a lot of people do. Like it's like the perfect quick stop. They have like a lot of like little meals, lots of like really good frozen stuff. I'm just gonna show you what I got. So I got these like rolls. For one, they're just really good rolls, but these rolls have butter inside of them already, so you don't have to do anything. You just eat them, and they're just good for breakfast. Not good for you, but they taste good. And then I got these Pure gummies. These are like my favorite gummies, this brand in particular. I've actually never had the mango one, but I've had like the grape ones, and they're just like the best sour gummies ever. And then Korean chicken. I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave and hopefully it tastes good. Usually the things that I try from 7-Eleven are actually pretty good. And then, this is weird, but I just really like crab sticks, like the crab meat sticks. It's fake crab meat, it's not real, but they're just really good. And then these are my favorite things to get from 7-Eleven. They're these little onigiri, like it's just whatever kind of filling. All of them are different. There's a filling inside with rice wrapped around it and seaweed wrapped around that. So I got a salmon one and a tuna one. So I'm gonna eat this very unhealthy smorgasbord of food, but it's so good. Like I love 7-Eleven so much. So much so that when we travel, I book a hotel based on how close it is to a 7-Eleven because they're open 24 hours. Everything that you really need is there. If you forget toiletries, you need a quick snack, your family's a really picky eater, they have good ramen. I'm telling you, if you're going to Japan, you've got to check out 7-Eleven. Hi, happy Friday. I just finished Yours Truly and I'm like still like upset. It's such an emotional book. So good. I really liked that book a lot. I don't even know. I feel like I'm at a loss for words. I gotta say, like, there is like a huge miscommunication trope, which I usually absolutely hate, but this one was done really well. I think that the reason that they didn't communicate, they both had their reasons and they were good reasons. A lot of like emotional stuff that kept them from talking to each other, and a lot keeping them apart, and there was just always something keeping them apart, but it made sense. Like it wasn't just, you know, one thing after another that didn't, you know, make sense. Like it all was done really well. And while I just got so upset and angry at these characters for not just saying how they felt, and like it was so frustrating, I was so angry, like, but it ended so beautifully, like better than I could possibly imagine. And yeah, this is 2 for 2 for me now for Abby Jimenez. Both of her books have been 5 stars for me, and I cannot wait to read more from her because I freaking loved that book. Like, July is a real hit for me right now. Like, I've been having such a freaking good reading month. Okay, so moving on. I read about 110 pages of Under Lock last night. I'm liking it so far. I know I told you a little bit yesterday about what it's about, but Iris is broke and needs a job. She ends up getting a hookup with her brother. So her brother Sonny is in this motorcycle club, and another member of the motorcycle club named Dex has a tattoo shop, and Iris goes to work at this tattoo shop because she's really desperate. And Dex is an absolute asshole, and he's mean and he's grumpy, and every time she asks him a question, he like freaks out on her. And you know, something I'm noticing is like there's definitely a theme of like biker talk. Like there's a certain way that bikers talk about women, and calling them babe and sweetheart, and then just, you know, calling them the B word. And, you know, it's just, you're going to have to push your feminism away if you're going to read this book. But I mean, I'm sure that's probably really how it is. And I want, you know, when I'm reading a book about something that I'm not used to, like a motorcycle club, like I want it to be real. I don't want there to be any filters because I'm reading about that kind of world. All I know is that she's like struggling to keep this job. She does not really want to work here because Dex is such a jerk, but she really just has absolutely no money and has to keep it. And then he's like really moody. Like most of the time he's really mean to her and to everybody else, but then there's these other moments where he's kind of kind to her, and she's just kind of getting whiplash with his emotions. That's just where I'm at. But yes, I'm liking it so far. It's fine. I just feel like every time I read an incredibly like written, really emotional, impactful book, it just always ends up negatively affecting the other books that I read. Like there are books that I would have rated higher had I read them before reading an epic book. Like you can't just read books like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and, you know, Part of Your World and Yours Truly, and then read another book after that and expect not to compare it. Like you are just like up here with how incredible the book is, and then when you are reading anything less than that, you're just gonna rate it lower. At least that's how I feel. But I'm gonna try to digest my feelings. I do need to go out in town tonight to get an IC card for the train system in Japan because I'm heading out tomorrow morning really early. So I'm probably going to go do that really soon to give myself like a mental break because I don't think I could just jump into Under Lock right now. Like I need time to process. Guys, that is it for this reading vlog. I didn't really end up vlogging much yesterday because it was just a long day. I ended up sleeping a lot on the plane, so yeah, I didn't end up finishing, and I actually didn't really read that much either. So just to recap, I ended up finishing Mile High, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I finished up The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I gave that 5 million stars, my new favorite book. And then I started The Lady Gets Lucky, which was my first historical romance. I actually thought it was really cute, and I gave it a 3.75. And then I listened to Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez on audio and gave that a 5 stars. And then I started Under Lock by Mariana Zapata. I'm about 45% into it now, and I'm really liking it a lot, but be sure to watch my July wrap-up video to see my thoughts on that. But yeah, overall it was like a really great week. Had a lot of 5 stars, a lot of 4 stars. I didn't read a book that I didn't like, so that's pretty good. But anyways, this was a really fun week for me. I'm glad you were able to join me. So I will see you in about a week or two for my July wrap-up. Thanks for watching.